Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live. Talk radio without the static. Email your questions and comments to lynncullenshow@gmail.com. And now your host, Lynn Cullen.
I'm on. I didn't hear the intro. I'm on? Well, it's another auspicious beginning here on the Lynn Cullen Show. How you doing? It's February the 1st. And it's a Tuesday. So Susan should be there. Hi, Suze.
Hi, I didn't hear anything either.
Yeah, something wasn't right. So anyway, well, here we are. We made it, and now it's official. Tom Brady has retired.
Oh, now he retired. This time, did he say it?
He said it. Yes, he said it. He put out a statement, and he's gone. Well, he's not gone, but he's. I have to say this about him. Clearly, the greatest, and also he's showing himself to be great at retiring too, in that he's left on top. You know how other quarterbacks like ours and so many others who've been really great,
right?
They don't
go
know
on and they diminish themselves and they humiliate themselves.
That's right. So
it's one of the reasons that I wished Aaron would have left. When he was being a petulant child last summer.
Aaron
Rodgers.
Yes,
we're pals.
First, well, yeah, he'd be smart almost. Well, he's probably got a year left or so. I don't know, but yeah, you're right. Get out. People don't know when to go. Favre didn't know when to go. I mean, they end up, having their last hurrah be like a humiliating defeat, which is
and he's already, he's already started to humiliate himself, which really,
Who, Rodgers?
Yeah.
Oh, screw him. Okay, we don't need to talk about that.
No.
I just wanted to note it for anybody who cares and/or hadn't gotten the latest little update.
Yeah, and your guy finally left.
Roethlisberger, but he left. He should have left before. And the Steelers should have known that. So even if he didn't know it, they should have known it. It was pretty clear. Whatever. Whatever. So I have a question. Maybe this is not a big story, but it's something I keep seeing out of the corner of my eye. I have been for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. It has to do with the former mayor of New York, governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo.
Who is, again, not being charged?
Yeah, so this is the last one, the last of 5 criminal investigations that got him, eventually rousted out of office, has ended exactly as the others, saying that there are insufficient legal grounds to bring criminal charges.
Well, yes, because I would suggest that the remedy for a guy being a disgusting sexual creep is that he lose his job and be dismissed from, that career with humiliation. You don't necessarily throw them all in jail or criminally prosecute them.
I understand that, but But what it does for all the women in all of these cases, it makes them, and Cuomo's already out saying it. You see, I didn't do anything. I'm innocent.
Yeah, but I don't think it should have been suggested as a remedy in the first place, is what I'm saying. The remedy is to out him and get rid of him in terms of public office and to put an alert on. Stay away from him, women. He's a handsy creep. which is like what we did with Isaac Asimov, for example, who was infamous for being a handsy creep. We didn't throw him in jail. We just warned the women to stay away from him. Yeah, yeah. You don't know that? Ugh.
Well, I do know you had an experience, but I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, it was like his signature experience.
Known.
No, well, yeah, he lived in my building when I was a young woman in New York, and he grabbed my ass in the elevator with my husband standing right next to me. And then later I read that he was infamous for doing things like that, and at the publishing house, they didn't dismiss him. They just kept him away from anything wearing a skirt.
Yeah, but I mean, he did not suffer public humiliation.
He did not suffer public humiliation until we started talking about it.
Yeah. So the dismissal, but in this case, the dismissal by all 5 prosecutors in different, in different jurisdictions, all said the same thing. They said they found the allegations of his victims credible.
Yeah.
But still,
nonetheless, it does not rise to the level. You don't drop an anvil on an ant.
Well, this is what they said. If you want it to be actionable, then you have to go back to the legislature, and the current sex offense statutes need to be tightened up so that it could be
so that touching a woman's breast without her permission is punishable by what? How much time in jail?
I don't know.
Well, you see, this is to me. You don't want to trivialize what the horror of sexual assault by parsing it thusly, I mean, and it's just like there are misdemeanors and felonies. There are certain things that are treatable and actionable in different ways, and you don't drop an anvil on an ant. And when you try to do it, it results in this unfortunate occurrence, which is these women have been totally found credible. It's just that what do you want us to particularly do about it?
Yeah, gotcha. Well, and the result was that he was driven from office, which is good.
The result was he was outed, humiliated, and driven from office, which I suggest was the proper outcome for all concerned. If that doesn't validate the women, what does?
And the extra added wonderfulness is that his brother
got booted too for doing the same damn thing.
Well, and other crimes, but his brother was driving me insane. I mean, I could not even look at him. He always looked like he was about to have a cerebral hemorrhage. He always looked like he was someone who's so intense that he could, if his head had exploded, I would not have been surprised.
He found the veins in his head too prominent.
Oh, God, no. It's just his whole affect was like...
Right. I'm about to explode with passion.
I'm just so...
With fervor.
I thought, and I could never figure out why the people at CNN thought he was good. He was horrifying to watch. Anyway, whatever. What do I know?
So I suggest that you don't look at it as anything other than, hey, excuse me, no, this is what the system looks like when it actually works just fine.
Yeah.
So it was the same punishment that was given to Matt, whatever his name was, on the Today Show. Can't even come up with his last name.
Lauer.
Just disappear him.
Yeah, and he did get disappeared.
And that is the heftiest of punishments for men like that.
Yeah. So I'm not going to be able to avoid some serious subject matter today.
Happily on from tra-la sexual assault.
Okay. Yeah, no, really. Yeah. So we find out now that when the National Archives were given the documents from the Trump White House, which is what every White House has to do. Every piece of paper is handed over, notes made, everything is handed to the National Archives. And it turns out that the archives got a lot of shredded, scrapped, ripped apart stuff from Trump, which is a violation of the law.
In which they pasted back together.
Well, they pasted some. Some they were able to paste together. Others they were not. Some of the pasted together stuff has made its way to the January 6th committee. But it was known that Trump himself, the archive, it told the January 6th committee that it was Trump himself that ripped the papers up. And they wanted that known, as usual, showing his disdain for...
His contempt for the law of the country that he wants to run again.
What? Yeah, well, he just wants all that power back again. And I don't know if you, God knows I didn't watch it, but this latest speech of his in Texas.
No, I didn't, but I've read large segments of it.
Dear God. Yeah.
That they want to call in the FBI's been called in to protect the courthouse.
The prosecutor in Atlanta, yes, has asked for FBI security because of the threats she's getting on her life, because he flat out told his minions it was like the January 6th speech again. He said, and he told them that if he gets indicted, that
they need to show up there with the biggest demonstration anybody's ever seen.
And he mentioned three cities, the three cities that all of these investigations are coming out of. That would be New York City, Atlanta, with the Georgia investigation, and what was the third? New York,
Washington,
Atlanta, and D.C. Washington, D.C. So he's already doing exactly what we saw him do before, telling his people that they need to get to these locations. They know what he's saying. And to see him doing it right out there again, even as he has borne no consequence.
Well, this is why the punishment. This is why I've been screaming. This needs to trot along now.
Oh yeah, I think it is. I get the impression that it's picking up steam. But Maggie Haberman, who covers the White House for the New York Times, has said that Trump now, and has been for a while, is clearly in what she calls burn it all down mode.
Yeah, he's scared.
He's scared. And, like a cornered animal, he wants to take the whole damn thing down around him. I mean, he has said things that has practically admitted he had admitted. He said that Pence, he complained to that crowd that Pence had the right to overturn the presidential election. He flat out said it out loud that was the intent, to overturn a federal election.
Yeah. I don't know how much more you have to do to admit it publicly.
I don't know either. Now, so things are closing in on him. And it's clearly because he's aware things are closing in on him, on his business, on his sedition, on his treason, on his everything.
And then there was that wonderful meeting in his office of those 4 government officials, Sidney Powell, the Overstock CEO, Giuliani, and someone else, I don't know. And they were discussing how to overthrow the government, basically. That's what they were doing.
Well, the latest is this thing about using the military and or Homeland Security. That came out recently, that he actually had contacted Homeland Security to see if they would be willing to grab some of the voting machines in Pennsilvania and Michigan. And they said, no, we can't do that. The military said, no, even though his friend, the former general and pardoned felon Flynn was telling him, yeah, the military can do that. And the military then said, no, we can't. He asked Bill Barr, who was the AG, can justice do something? And Barr said, no, we can't. He asked 3 separate departments. And all of this is coming out now. How it is just beyond me how he has yet to suffer a consequence, which is why he's out there now fomenting the next horror.
Correct.
He's literally saying, if they move against me, if these prosecutors move against me, then you know what to do.
Yep. I don't know at what point you just don't knock on his door and arrest him already.
God almighty.
Sir, you can't say that. Here we go.
Yeah. Now I understand you wanna, you want all your ducks in a row and everything, but good God, can we move this along, please? Want to make sure. And the thing is, this is happening on so many fronts and right out in the open, just like Trump said it all right out in the open. I brought this up before, but a statewide position in every state, that generally speaking, no one in the state could name who holds it, is Secretary of State.
Right.
I defy anyone to tell me who the Secretary of State of their state is. Most would not know, because that's one of those it's almost like, even though they're elected, it's like a civil service job.
You shouldn't know who it is. For example, the fact that I know that a guy named Schmidt is the Missouri Attorney General is not a good thing.
No, because he's doing bad stuff, probably.
Because he's doing terrible stuff. He's one of those attorney generals that's suing everybody, other states, which he did during the, trying to get the election, going. Now he's suing public school districts in Missouri that enforce mask mandates.
Yeah. Well, guys like that. But what's scary is, again, Republicans are always looking ahead. And there are now, and this will grow, there are over 20 Republicans in I'm not sure what all the states are who are running for Secretary of State, who have publicly disputed the results of the last presidential election. So
right, basically saying, I promise to overthrow the next election.
I will overthrow the next election. That's right.
If it doesn't go our way, no problem.
That is
Put
correct.
me in, we win. That's what
they got. And these are in 18 different states. There are over 20.
So the Attorney General, which, by the way, to be clear, the Attorney General is the attorney that represents the state and therefore the interests of its citizenry against outlaws, and instead of running to be the outlaw.
An outlaw. Right. So and some of these guys will get elected. And, it's like, electing a known arsonist to run the fire department. This is crazy and frightening.
This is, and here's the thing. This is Putin. This is exactly what he wanted to do.
Yeah,
if you don't think this is a foreign nation that is working to destabilize its major enemy, there it is.
From within.
Ta-da! There it is.
As I said, Putin is feeling as gleeful about what's going on in this country
and
as
empowered
as Osama bin Laden was.
Right, and totally empowered. And this is not a crazy controversy. This is simply there for all to see.
Right. I believe we have a call. Hello.
Hello, Lynn. Hello, Susan.
Hi.
Good morning.
I'd say good morning, but
a lousy day.
Trepidation with that in modern times, because we seem just to be on the verge of, I guess, a soft fascism is the term that's been coined
let's hope
recently.
It's only soft. Yeah, we are.
Well, there'd be a pretense of democracy, although maybe not so much if you're black or brown or gay or trans. Especially not trans. They seem to be the designated enemy du jour.
Right. Everybody can get behind that.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
I had. Yeah. I had already implicitly taken that the reason that the Justice Department, well, aside from the fact that I think Merrick Garland was a bad choice in hindsight, he's just too milquetoast, that they were not going to go directly after Trump was because they feared, rightly, that there would be civil unrest and riots. Even
there will be anyway.
Domestic terrorism, because of his legions of followers. But at this point, there's nothing to lose.
No,
it's going to happen anyway. Going to happen regardless. Right. And by the way,
I want to say this about Merrick Garland. I have this milquetoasty image of him too, but I have grown in hope that what he is doing is being extremely dogged and careful. He took down the Oklahoma City bomber. He took down the Unabomber. There were never any leaks coming from any of his investigations. He runs the tightest ship imaginable, and it could well be that he will be the hero of this. Don't count him out.
I just think that both Joe Biden and the entire administration are far too timid in making the kind of moves necessary to deal with what the current Republican Party is. I don't. Why even call it the Republican Party? It's the Trump Party.
Well, I think in Biden's defense, his last speech did that.
In Biden's defense, his last speech did. He took him on, called it like it is. So I think, Biden's done being milquetoasty about it. And Garland is in a position where he can't really, if he wants to be seen as this, very judicious, dot the I's, cross the T's kind of a guy. I don't know.
Frankly, from where I'm sitting, there should be a police raid on Mar-a-Lago like today. He made explicit that he tried to overturn the election. That's sedition. But
all you're going to find are hamburger wrappers.
That and the recorded phone call to the Georgia Secretary of State and Governor.
We have that. We already have that.
And also the transcripts where he told the Justice Department to, even though they said they had no evidence that the election was tainted, he told them to just go ahead and declare it to be so anyway. And he and the congressional, GOPers would handle the rest. And yesterday was also obstruction of justice and witness tampering. That's absolutely
every day goes by, there's another charge. Right. I agree.
Right. And that's true. And Haberman herself was saying, she's wondering if anyone now is able to vet anything that this guy says, that he is, as she said, I mean, he is now in full crazy mode, total crazy mode.
Well, he wasn't ripping though. That was all on the teleprompter.
It was on teleprompter. Well, that's true. That's true. Who the hell knows? Hey, thanks for the call. I got.
You're welcome.
I want to head in another direction. Thank you. Hey, you know what occurred to me? Do you remember? Was it in the Black Lives Matter at the height of all that? Didn't Trump say that he wanted to throw people in jail or make it it was like a capital crime to deface a monument? Do you remember that?
I don't, but I'm sure he said something like that. I'll take your word for it.
No, it was. And I mean, there were people who were, if anybody hurt any federal government property, he wanted them like drawn and quartered.
Well, does the Capitol count?
That's what I'm thinking.
No, instead he's on record saying he'll pardon them.
Yeah, he's going to pardon the people who really, really seriously kind of defaced and vandalized one of the greatest monuments in this country, the United States Capitol. I just wanted to put that out there. Okay. I think, where do I want to go? Where does she want to go?
Yeah, I'm waited with bated breath.
Well, okay, this is more local, but I have to tell you, Susan, have you seen the picture of the bus hanging in the air? I mean,
I think I saw it like the first day, and it made me want to vomit, so I didn't.
No, not hanging in the air off the
bridge.
Hanging in the air, yeah, not that same bus, but.
Oh no! They picked what they had needed a crane, and they picked it.
A crane, got it.
Yeah.
And there are some just amazing pictures of this huge bus hanging in the air over what had been a bridge, and in Pittsburgh, I just have to say, somebody's got to start doing things with these iconic pictures of Pittsburgh buses. So now we have this flying bus. We have the bus falling off. We have the flying bus. And last year, we had a wonderful thing with a bus nose down, just the back end of it up in the air, nose down in this giant sinkhole that opened downtown. And that
makes you not want to get on a bus in Pittsburgh.
That was an amazing picture and has, bred all kinds of memes and Christmas tree ornaments stuff. I mean, that's big. It's big. That bus was big. This bus, it might even be bigger. So we got 2 to 3 great pictures now. And I think, we should keep going for more. And you could have like a Pittsburgh bus calendar, right? This is the month, January bus. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And Susan, the city has opened an observation area for all the curious locals. They
who want to go look at the bridge, right?
Yeah, they actually have there's a parking area. Then you have to walk, half a mile, and then you get to stand right there and gape in awe.
Well, it's because it wasn't. 10 people were hurt, but it wasn't a terrible tragedy. And so it becomes this wonderful sort of thing of amazement instead. Thank God, thank God.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll see if we're still thinking it's wonderful anything in another month or so.
Well, in that particular regard, we have to remember to experience moments of gratitude wherever there are, because there seem to be such a paucity of them.
Yes, paucity.
Is that our word? I'm glad I give you words to turn over in your mouth.
No, I like them. It's ones that you don't hear often. I heard a TV anchor the other day. Actually, it was during the bus incident. Use the word thwart. And I thought, Woo! Woo!
Well, I think
she just said thwart. And that's great. But, most people, because she was just talking off the top of her head, most people don't have thwart right there for, I was impressed. Anytime people come up with words that you don't always hear.
Well, I use words because they're the word. It's the right word, and the
That's
more,
right.
and it only allows you to be more descriptive and to say more clearly that which you're trying to say, the more of these great words you use. But, texting doesn't encourage vocab.
No.
Or spelling.
God knows. No. We're all going to have like about six words in our... I'm telling you, I've often said this. It is amazing. Homo sapiens will go full circle. From caveman who draw little pictures on the wall and grunt at each other to us who are getting close to
emojis
and all of this sort of like it's absolutely true. Yeah. So I do have oh right, Ellen says, and another bus, a Pittsburgh bus that would have to be on that calendar. Doesn't look like the rest of them. It's a former football player, Jerome Bettis, who we called the bus. So there, we're up to 3 or 4, I think. I really do. We got to keep this going. I just want to say something about Jeopardy. I was ranting a lot about. I can't stand it when one person hogs the limelight.
Yeah.
Well, she got knocked off,
right,
and left with her $1.5 million, which is fine, and I'm glad for her. And now I have to admit I've tuned in to see the good old game again, and I was watching it last night, and 3 of the most hapless Jeopardy contestants I have ever seen were on that show last night. Susan, I've never seen a show like that. Literally, every question asked, or every clue, they'd buzz in and it'd be wrong. And then a second one would buzz in and they'd be wrong. And then the third one would usually take a pass, but they didn't have a clue. And on it went. It was what I thought, this is humiliating.
Yeah,
My
right.
God.
They got 3 people that don't know diddly squat.
Yeah, but the thing is that they have to. I mean, it's hard to get on that show. But they either were nervous or the subjects that came up, for some reason, they didn't know. And I'm watching it and I'm thinking, this is what you wanted. This is what you wanted. You wanted 3 people who could just take a whack at it. But this is not what I wanted. I wanted 3 people who could give a correct answer and you didn't know who was going to win. And at one point, one of them, God bless her, did something that elicited a reaction from the audience that is rare. In her answer or question as it goes, she made the audience laugh. Now, you do not hear that.
No, it has to be very clever.
It was wonderful. What she did, and I can't remember the exact clue. I loved it. The question was something like about Betsy Ross and the first flag, and the flag that Betsy Ross made had this thing here, and then in the upper left-hand corner, this and that, and it was the corner of that Betsy Ross flag was called. So you had to come up with what was that corner of the flag called. And she buzzed in, you just try to, she got to the buzzer first, and they came to her, and she looked her, like a deer in the headlights.
Headlights, right.
And she said, what is the corner of the flag? I think they should have given it to her.
Well, clearly.
What is that corner of the flag called? The corner of the flag?
Do you remember the answer?
It was something like the base. It made no sense, and it was something that nobody would have known. I don't know. Oh, and Chuck says, how about on the buses we would put in the neighbor trolley from Mr. Rogers?
Oh, absolutely.
There we go. We're almost up to we almost
got 5. We got 5.
Okay. So let's come on, guys. So I guess I'm talking to you. Hey, you Pat bus drivers, come on, do something wondrous. I don't know what. Okay. I have a cute little story I found here, and I want to share it. This is about an 8-year-old little boy in.
I love this story.
Did you see this?
Yes.
8-year-old little boy. His name is Dylan Helbig. He lives in Idaho, and he's a 2nd grader. And he had a notebook in which he wrote his own adventure story and illustrated it.
Well, and he does this. I mean, this is one of the things he loves to do. Yes.
Yeah. He just was doing his thing. It was 81 pages. And he went to the library where he goes a lot. And he wanted other people to be able to read his book. So he slipped his little book that he did right onto the one of the shelves where the children's books are. And nobody knew it was there. By the way, his book is titled The Adventures of Dylan Helbig's Christmas. And Christmas is spelled Chrissmis.
And who was it written by?
It was written by Dylan himself.
Dylan himself.
And the few pictures that they showed in the article are so cute you could die. They're adorable. So anyway, one thing led to another. The library found the book. They went nuts. They actually read it and thought it was wondrous. And they asked the kid if they could put, they
cataloged it. Yeah.
Yeah, they cataloged it. And damn, if there's now not this long, long waiting list to take his book out.
And he's very excited, but it turns out, and the cute part of the story is, he is the son of a dad that when he was a little boy liked to make records or CDs, and he would slip them into the CD store. And so his mom and dad encouraged him, go for it, go for your dreams. And that's what the little boy, what Dylan himself is saying. Go for it, guys.
It is so damn. The Adventures of Dylan Helbig's Christmas by Dylan himself. God,
and to be clear, we are not your typical grandmother types. We don't dote on children in particular, but this is just it's too wonderful. It's just wonderful.
Yeah, it's just unbelievably wonderful. Hey, Ed came up with another bus. That's right. The Christmas bus. There's one bus, Susan, that every year the driver goes berserk and totally makes the inside of his bus into this, Christmas thing. Oh,
that's nice. He'll be December, but then we'll have a big, we'll have a First Amendment thing.
Well, it doesn't have to. Yeah, he'll be December. That's right. No, he will be. And then you'll have to have, I don't know. But yeah, we got it. The bus come on, somebody take this and run with it. We don't quite have enough, but we're getting there. Man, I have a caller, I guess. Hello. Hello.
I would say hello. There's a delay.
Hello. Okay.
You hear me now?
I get nasty about it. Yeah.
No, so I would say Favre didn't go out a loser.
Favre?
You know, he went out as much a loser. Yeah,
he say Favre didn't go out a loser. He went to the Vikings.
One play from the Super Bowl.
Crap. What?
Hey, he was one play from the Super Bowl. You don't recall that? He threw an interception at the end of the NFC Championship. One play from the Super Bowl.
But that's classic. Yeah. Well, that is the way he should have gone out. That is the way. Throwing an interception. That is the way, because he did that a lot.
But the thing is but Brady went out. He lost. He didn't make it to the championship, the NFC Championship.
All right. Okay.
But that's not why I went. So let me ask you this: with Trump, is the evidence so incredibly thick and high and dense?
Yeah.
But is that more of a problem because there's so much shit to sift through? I mean, as a prosecutor, do you oh, this is great, but holy crap, this is overwhelming. I mean, I'm just curious.
Might be too. Yeah, there might be something to that.
And you also, I mean, you have to sift through all the stuff that, a sitting president just, it has to be truly, I don't know how you sift through what you can't touch because he's sitting president and what he has no right to do, but you have to get that hurdle on every single bit of evidence. I mean, I do understand why it's so complicated. It needs to be complicated, or it would, they'd be going out after every president. And by the way, it's why Ford, pardoned Nixon because he didn't want to go down that path. He didn't want criminal proceedings.
Well, Nixon was a nothing burger compared to
Nixon was a nothing burger. I agree, but I'm just saying that the legal hurdles are, you have, there's 6 extra because the guy was the sitting president.
I'm just curious. I mean, also if they do go after him and they are going, if they actually get him. I mean, I think guys like that always get away with it. But if
he slipped out of 2 impeachments.
Yeah. I think he gets it on the state level, not on the federal level, because that's not stuff he did as president, except for in Georgia. I think the state level charges are much easier to.
Georgia's got the best case.
Georgia's got the best case, and New York has on totally different grounds, has its own good case. But I think those are the best chances for seeing that guy in jail.
Oh, that's such a dream. But on the flip side, though, I think that this devolved Republican Party will find a way to do the same thing to Biden once they take control. I mean, you got crazy people already talking about impeaching him for what? I don't know, but it's insane.
No, I know. They have no allegiance to the actual government. They don't understand even what that means.
And then you watch. I was watching the news this morning, and there was a commercial was it David White? He's running for something other. Lynn, you may have seen it. I don't know, but he's out there talking about, he's running for I didn't know what he's running for, but he's already on there saying, and these liberal lefties who don't want to check out all this election fraud. I mean, he's running on that.
Yeah.
And I don't. Are there no standards from as far as
no, not in a political ad. No, not in a political ad. You can lie through your teeth, I believe.
Because I took some solace in what Spotify's doing to Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Joe Rogan is now going to be fair and balanced.
Oh, sure, I believe that.
All right, but
All right, okay.
I'm just curious about all that evidence. I mean, is it too much, or is it a good thing?
Well, we'll find out. God Almighty, God help us.
Yeah, I don't know.
Look at the blue sky. There's a blue sky out there, and another winter storm warning.
No, hey, look, just don't look up.
Don't look. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Hey, I still haven't watched that. What?
My son watched it, and he said he thought it was a bunch of garbage. He, jumped on me. I can't believe you told me to watch that. It was good. It was horrible. And I thought, what? Jeez.
My guess is Sam and I are kindred spirits.
Oh, jeez. Damn. Okay, Barbara just sent me a funny meme. Ha, ha, ha. She says, here's a picture of one of the ripped up documents that the National Archives had to piece back together. It's a picture of the Constitution. And it's ripped. Oh, God, help us. Oh, Henry, how about the Kennywood trolley? He says. I don't know. How about the Kennywood trolley? Does that make the cut? First of all, technically not Pittsburgh. I hate to. Does Kennywood pay taxes to Pittsburgh? That's what I want to know. Maybe, but we're gonna have to be patient and wait. I don't think we got enough. I just don't.
Can I make a shade? I just read this morning before I got on the air, and to me it's a real feel good story. Okay. Do you know what the dog the animal shelter from which I procured my dog, which is no great recommendation, I guess, but it's a place called Paws, and I read today that they are starting a new program. They're looking for seniors over 65 that want a pet in their house but can't, afford all of it. And what they're offering is permanent fosters. They'll retain ownership. They'll pay for all the food. They'll pay for all the medical.
Thing.
All they want to do is put the pet's in a permanent placement with someone over 65 where they would both benefit. It's a win-win.
What a wonderful story. Yeah.
Isn't that? I'm putting that out there because I think, that is something somebody wants to give a gift to a shelter to start a program like this. What a wonderful idea.
It is. It is. I mean,
it really made me happy just reading it.
I can say as an older person, over 65, that an animal, introducing a dog into my life was just wonderful.
Life-changing. First of all, you can't play the piano anymore because the dog sings.
Well, that's true, damn it. And I tried again the other night. I did. And I said, Blue, I'm going to play, please. Chill. Nope. It's just pianos. If all of a sudden a very specific piano sound is coming out of the television, his head goes around and he doesn't start singing, but it's like, so it's piano. I don't have a clue. I don't know what it is, but damn it, I can't play. Well, I could play right after the show. I can play because he's not here. I have a question. There's just little things that are bothering me. So, this idiot Tennessee school board being appalled at the Pulitzer Prize-winning book Mouse.
Yeah. I can remember when my son read that book, and I think he was around 14 and was just bowled over by it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's graphic novel, for those who don't know about the Holocaust. It's actually Spiegelman, who wrote it, was literally trying to work out his own feelings about what happened to his parents.
Right.
And his parents were both survivors, sort of. because his mother, having survived the camps, later killed herself.
Right.
And the school board went berserk because of unnecessary use of profanity, violence, nudity, and suicide. Okay.
And by the way, these are mice.
Thank you. This is what I wanted to ask. They were freaked out by the
naked mice
being nude. Well, what the?
And by the way, I don't know how you even discuss the Holocaust or look at pictures of the Holocaust without nudity and violence and sexual assault.
Yeah, excuse me.
And that, by the way, was with humans, not with mice.
So the school board literally was flipped out by mice not wearing clothes? How could they even tell?
Okay, to your side of the story, let me play the side B of this album. Side B is the middle school girl that, in response to all of this book banning, has started a book club for her friends that only reads the banned books and discusses them.
Well, this is what always happens when these fools try to do this. Mouse is now back on the top of the, Amazon list.
Bestseller list, right.
Bestsellers. There is I don't know, is it a bookstore or somebody
bookstore that will mail Mouse free of charge to any place where it's been banned. Or
right.
The postage will be. I mean, they'll deliver it free. I think still have to pay for the book.
Oh, I don't know. No, they were just. Okay, I think you might be right.
I think I am right.
Okay, so and Spiegelman says to all of this, this obviously this is disturbing imagery, but you know what? It's disturbing history. What are these guys saying? Why can't you teach a nicer Holocaust?
Or maybe they want to teach the other side of the story, like in Texas.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, man.
Okay. Well, it's predictable. What happens as a group of black, mothers that are, now storming and, saying, my kids really feel bad about having to learn whitewashed history.
Exactly. And this is what
it makes them feel bad, by the way.
Every black parents and parents of any other child.
Any minority group.
Any minority group need to use this because their children are, I said this yesterday, I mean, the law does not state that this is only for white children. I mean, they meant that. We can't make our white children feel uncomfortable.
No, we discussed this last week because we decided that calculus made us feel bad. It hurt my self-esteem for, ever.
Hey, William suggests for the bus calendar, how about letting the incline in? That's that, Susan, that reticular, what do they call those? The thing that goes up the hill.
The reticulated tram?
Not reticulated. A vent, it starts with a V. Come on, help me here. God, I hate being old. No, I don't. But I hate that part of it. Where your brain dries up.
I know what scares me is that my brain is now just substituting words at will and I know this because I talk to myself and I listen sometimes and I'm trying to say cheese and out comes, hamburger, it's always an association. I go, that's not a hamburger. That's cheese.
Yeah. Rob said, okay, somebody needs to do bus earrings. You could do Pittsburgh bus, then you don't need 12. But yeah, we're getting there. And Susan, I was trolling through my, Twitter, and this big thing with this big picture popped up of all these strange-looking devices, and it was from GQ, and it said, the best sex toys on the market. And I'm thinking, do you remember when no one would even, first of all, you didn't know there was such a thing as a sex toy, right? And I'm looking at some of these, and I'm looking at them and thinking, what the F do you do with that?
Where does that go?
Wait a minute here. There's some serious weird thing going on there. Wait, hello? Let me see that. Do you remember sex before there were toys? I mean, do you remember? I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. We call that, what is that? Analog sex?
I guess. But remember when, people, the human race, kept propagating left, right, and center, procreating,
without batteries.
Without batteries. How the hell did those early folk do that? I just, it's unbelievable. God, I'm glad I'm old.
I know. There is something so pleasant about being post. Post
Even though the
pairing.
New York Times tried to talk about how sex over 70 the other day had this big spread. Fine. I'm happy for people who are still in sexual relationships at 70. But a lot of us who aren't are so grateful. It's just a whole other part of your life that you don't really, especially I think women, because we do I don't know. I guess men still have a drive. God help them. A lot of women really don't after a certain point.
Well, I think men's identity is a whole lot more wound up in their sexuality than women's is.
Yeah, I guess. But, funicular.
Funicular, of course. That was right on the tip of my tongue.
Well, see, it wasn't. But
no, I never. I think I might have heard that word, but it's not on any list of my brain cells.
But that's what it is. Thank you, Kurt. What was I going to say? I was thinking that the other day. The fact that now when I dress and when I go out, there is such a burden lifted off of me that was there most of my life, a burden that women carry to be attractive. And I don't feel that anymore. I don't have to be attractive because, first of all, I'm not looking to attract.
You aren't trying to attract.
Right. And I also know by virtue of my age that, it's not what most people who are looking for a woman are looking for.
Yeah, you're pretty invisible.
Yeah, totally. Now, that can be upsetting in some ways, obviously.
Yeah, back in the day when you're trying to get a drink at a crowded bar, being invisible is not a pleasure.
Tell me, but you know what? That's where a voice like mine.
And mine. Hey!
Yeah, I do.
What? Are you blind?
I'm not the little old lady at the end of the bar. I'm like, hey!
Yeah, okay. It was a bad example, Lynn. Sorry. I just remember that because that was one of our mother's stories of being invisible. That she was sitting at O'Hare at the piano bar at the head of the K concourse, and she was sitting there next to a black man, and neither one of them could get waited on. And Mother started a conversation with the black guy about who was more invisible, which I thought was so cute.
Oh, they had a wonderful conversation. She said she really had fun.
Right, they had a good time.
And they did get drinks eventually. Right.
Right.
But yeah, right. I just want to drop. Oh God, what do you mean? It's Susan. It's after.
Are we done?
Yeah.
Far out.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well,
News to
bye.
me. I just happened to look. Okay. All right, Sue.
That's how I tuned in. That's how I called in today. I looked. I go, oh, it's 9, and I got there.
Yeah. So now it's 11:01.
It is. Okay.
Or 10:01 your time.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I'm going to the grocery masked. Okay.
Of course. Okay.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Okay. Bye.
Goodbye. Bye. And as for the rest of you, I'm out of here. Okay. Have a good one.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper or its advertisers.